I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Entertain a motion on the minutes.
There was something in there, but I can't find it, so I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll go to the correspondence. He waved already.
Oh.
Me. Oh, no, went on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Blaine's in physical therapy today.
The first one's from the BLM office doing an economic resource management plan amendments and stuff for that. Next one is an audit proposal to Sarah Graham from the local government audit firm that has been, this is from Vinnie Downey and Associates. They're kind of letting us know if you're looking for an auditor, we'd be interested in sending you an audit proposal. Get a hold and talk to them. Get more review. Next one's from Mayor Reddish, rescheduling a letter request. And he wants a letter of support doing a speed test from here in town from highway and Broadway up the street to Sampson Street, being as this highway road for Department of Transportation. Next one from Mako on Senate Bill 442 needs the support on Senate floor and Portsmouth High. And for tax revenue collected by state and marijuana sales. And the next one from the MDT, Department of Transportation, requesting information on any bridge construction and repair activities under your jurisdiction.
So can we visit this Senate Bill 442? Transfers tax revenue collected by the state. Goes the percentage that goes to the state, or is it, which we don't have that problem, except for we did vote in the medical marijuana, and I don't know, are they collecting an excise tax on that? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't even know who would be collecting or how that is, how it comes to us.
I did print the bill, just in case you guys wanted to review it. I didn't have a chance to read it, but
Who collects it? Is it
Well, others, I don't. I'm just thinking of legislature.
So whatever is given, well, the treasurer collects it actually, and then she sends it on to the state. So there's a percentage that goes to the state. And it looks like they want to earmark that percentage that goes to the state on the marijuana sales to the Department of Transportation.
Look at me. I don't know.
Do they want us to say, yeah, we want you to do that?
Well, they send a letter and how we don't even understand it. I mean, if we come in and talk with a high, they take the last minute again, and then.
Everything goes so fast and they change everything.
I'm not buying it, because I don't even know what it's about, or if it's good or bad, so I'm not. If they could explain a little more, I mean,
Okay, so I kind of get it. It says that county roads are the path by which recreationalists reach public lands. So some of it would come back maybe to the county or it's the Department of Transportation. that they think.
well, if it's a county road, the Department of Transportation has no say, so do we have to allow those that are traveling doing this? How do we,
Oh, sorry,
I don't understand it.
say that again.
Well, if it's a county road, the Department of Transportation has no say, so do we have to go out and find where these roads are that they're traveling and then send it to them? So we can get tax on it, but how do you tax on it?
Yes.
I don't understand. How they can explain it, I don't. I'm not. All right, we're in the public comment, any public comment?
Back to this, could you please inform the commission that the town will have to reschedule the joint session meeting that was slated for 4/6? I thought we were supposed to do one this month.
They come in and they couldn't, because he had something come up, it was the 16th, right?
Was it 16?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was the 16th
So
and
it's not anymore.
they rescheduled last week
So it's
and they rescheduled the 6th. And now they
no.
want to reschedule
Again,
again to what?
does he say in there?
Yeah, 13th.
13th of this month?
I don't know.
It says 3/13.
Also, I would like to place on the agenda for the meeting the week from tomorrow, which is 3/13.
No.
No.
Oh, no, sorry.
Well, that's tomorrow. Or when?
It'll be next Monday. Be next Monday.
Be the joint session meeting?
You know, I think.
Oh, you might just have it.
Asking for,
So they want to reschedule. We did it for the 16th. We rescheduled for April 6th, and now he wants to backtrack and have it on the 13th.
well, there's no way we can have everything ready for next Monday. I'm not with that. I mean, if he's doing it, it sounds like he has a meeting Thursday.
So anything after the 6th, maybe of April, maybe the 13th, maybe he meant the 13th of April. And he accidentally put,
Oh, yeah, because they were talking about Thursdays, weren't they?
Yeah. I guess it maybe.
I'll clarify with him.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought that's it.
I'll clarify with him.
No, go ahead, Elena.
Good morning. I guess you were still talking about correspondence and I think that's when you should have been discussing each correspondence and what to do. And I think I read the one about the mayor and apparently he wants to be put on the agenda. So, but anyway, going back to public comment, that was my public comment part of it. I'm still waiting for my letter. Your reply regarding why my request to be on the agenda to discuss open meetings, minute drafts, public information was denied, and I'm still waiting for it. Those are my comments. Thank you.
I have it. I sent it out. I was hoping to get all of your signatures and unfortunately with Commissioner Hinkle not here, I wasn't able to do that. So I did send it out finally. So I apologize for the delay in getting it into the mail, but I did send an electronic copy too earlier on. So this is just the physical copy.
Go ahead, Blaine.
Well, I was gonna, good morning. I was gonna say that I think Mayor Reddish wants on the agenda for next week to talk about a speed study. I don't think he was talking about the joint session.
Monday, we're gonna talk about?
I think he wants it on next Tuesday.
All right, well, we'll put him on for that speed thing.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Elena.
Oh, hold on, things are moving around.
Any other? public-
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So back to my letter. So yes, I got it electronically, but I'd like a signed copy mailed. And Blaine made the point I was making. He still wants to be put on the agenda, the mayor. So thank you. Oh, again, I still would like my letter. The hand letter, it's all signed, mailed to me. Thank you.
Well, there's nothing else. I would bring up, something, that little episode last week. And called with an ambulance and they were on a transfer 4 o'clock in the morning, which is no big deal. I mean, it's not, they can do that if they want to. But it pointed out a glitch we have in our system, I guess, that there was a point in time where I couldn't get to a car. And so I was wondering if this is to suggest that maybe some, the dispatcher did a really good job and she got some fire guys to come out and some young guys but by the time they come out, I was getting better. And so I could get to the car, so they didn't need to do anything, but it was really great. And they came out on their own and I really appreciated it. And everybody did a great job. But maybe since it's got such a big county area and one ambulance, you know, there's probably all kinds of legal problems why you can't do this. But if we could county support some of the fire guys maybe or something to be able to volunteer, because there's a lot of people out there, even older than I am, and if you go down and you can't get an ambulance or something, I mean, you could lay there for 4 hours. I mean, you could, I thought I saw that you could be really in big problem.
Sometimes too, though, if you just, you know, I know on this before we tried and they end up having to call the helicopter. That's
Well, like in my case, so if I would have called a helicopter at night anyway, and then made it all a big deal, and then it started getting better. I mean, you feel really
But,
ridiculous.
yeah, but you don't know if you're gonna get better, you know, by the time they get there. That's why before, when we couldn't get nobody to come and go, we just started recommending the helicopter when if it's a bad emergency.
Anyway, what I was thinking was, like I say, you probably can't do it because of legal problems and everything, but if you could get some people to have a name on the list that they would be willing to be called that night, just to get somebody in the car, you know, and somebody could sign a waiver that, hey, I mean, not even EMTs, yeah, if you're in that position, you don't care who the heck is getting you in the car, you know.
Just to get in.
And there's certain cases, you know, and I wouldn't think, you know, during like something COVID or something like that, that wouldn't count. But anyway, it's just a suggestion that maybe do, you know.
Go ahead, Blaine.
I know I've talked to the sheriff about that and he's willing to have deputies go out and help with that in that situation. I'm not sure if there was one available that in your situation or not, but that's a possibility.
That is, and we suggested that, or how you did on the phone, I mean. Anyway, so. And I guess there wasn't one available, and it's just a suggestion, it probably wouldn't hardly ever happen. there's some, if there was a list that they could call.
Wouldn't that be up to the person that if they wanted to do, if we could get somebody put on there, that'd be up to them, they'd be volunteers. It's no different, they'd be covered under calm. We have to cover them, I'm sure, if I'm not saying it right, Blaine, that we did that before down there, there's a couple just drove and they could, as long as you just gotta make sure they're covered, we cover.
Yeah. I think that would work, have them on the list and have them covered with workers' compensation, and the sheriff's office could potentially, the dispatcher could go down the call down list if a deputy wasn't available.
Kind of what it,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if we can find who can someone to do it. I guess that'd be the thing, you gotta have somebody kind of go and try to find who might want to do it, and then just put them on that 911 list.
So we put it on the agenda and maybe get the sheriff in and talk about it.
Well, I know that sheriff did talk about it prior when we were having problems with the Peabody ambulance getting the calls out. Another thing, the problem is when Anaconda has their stop.
Mhm.
Where they could have come, but they won't,
Mhm.
they refuse
Yeah.
to. Which is
Shoot.
ethically an ethical thing, but. I know that, remember the sheriff talking about having the fireman rescue type situation and getting a fireman rescue type truck type thing.
I'm just talking about something kind of informal, that, like I say. So you don't have to depend on the EMTs, there was one that came out to me, but. Like I say, I mean, if you're in that position, you don't care what. As long as you're going down the road to the hospital,
I think that's a good idea, I'd put it on the agenda for next week, and if we could find some. Maybe talk to the sheriff about dispatching like that, see if there's something that. That'd be something Wayne would have to check in, make sure it's okay to call them off their dispatch. I don't see why not. They're volunteers, and then just tell them they're covered if something did happen. Alrighty, well, we'll move on to the weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul.
We're just moving a little bit of snow. Keeps coming. But other than that, everything's going pretty good. Wind's been the biggest problem for us. But
getting some nice drifts though. I like to see the snow fence,
yeah,
it's almost up to the top, one place.
it is, there's no doubt about it. Them fences have sure done a good job this year, haven't they?
What's that?
Them fences there at Eastbrook have done a good job this year.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know, down without them. They're put at the top of them all the way up. I wish we'd put some more up there on Thatcher's Corner.
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk to him and see what he has to say about that. If we could get that, if we could get some fence put up on that stretch right there, it would really help a lot.
yeah. Like a couple 300 feet or something like that.
Be really good, but other than that, just going on and on with the snow pretty much. Blows from one side to the other, but a lot of ice. That backhoe down, it's at the dump finally. So they're I was gonna leave the other one that we have rented there for a couple of days, let them run that one that just got fixed for a few days, just to make sure not to go south with it, and then Cat come get it out of there. That's about it.
Got anything?
Well, I don't know if this needs to be brought up, but it came to my attention that garbage or construction garbage was put in a dumpster and wasn't charged because that person was told that they're part of Marshall Creek Ranch, which gets free dumping. And it was in town construction that was being dumped.
And it went like that van that didn't go to the burn pit. I got to did it go to the. bird
No, it
pit?
went into the dumpster,
Why would that be free?
But we're-
right? Marshall Creek Ranch is free due to an agreement that was made between Phillipsburg. And Marshall Creek, is it Marshall Creek Ranch, is that? Where they donated the property to, and it's right in the lease agreement that.
Oh,
But this person who is not, maybe possibly a member of the ranch corporation, but this was in town, property in town, and was let. to-
Kind of like they're using the ranch as a.
No, it was just, I don't think they realized that, what I'm saying is the, dump person said that they could dump because they were part of the ranch, but this was construction in town, so I don't know if we need to research it and follow through a little bit.
well, I think if they're paying and not, that's, I don't know how that letter reads, but if it's just garbage, it's just on the ranch itself, that's how it should be.
Right,
And anything in town, they would need to be paid for
right,
that. And I'll stop out there and talk
just
about
to
that.
see and follow through a little
Yeah.
bit, see.
Yep.
And that might be, I mean, this was brought to my attention and things might be completely in a different situation, but, gotta realize anything. Just because this person belongs to the ranch, she also has her own property that doesn't belong to the ranch, and that's where this construction stuff was being.
Yeah, no, that should be
Yeah.
charged.
So, yeah, that was,
I'm sure that house in town has they're paying tax, garbage tax anyway.
We should.
Hmm.
That town, the place in town should have its own. garbage
Yeah.
fee.
well, but you look at one unit and that's 2,000 pounds and construction stuff. Pretty much adds up and,
I'll look into that when I leave. But no, I mean, that's how it should be.
yeah,
Now, the other thing that got put on here was we was talking about this sidewalk out here. Janine was talking about building it up. Well, it's not gonna do no good to build it up. As you can see, if the snow's gonna keep shoving up higher and higher, and then you're gonna have a step that high to step over. When it melts this spring, we'll look and see. I don't know if there's something I can put that ice and I don't know, I can talk to you a little bit. I kind of look, there's
I
nothing.
don't know what you do.
I wouldn't know, we have to figure. I don't know, this spring when it melts out, maybe we can come up with an idea. I just don't see raising the sidewalk, cause then the snow's just gonna get deep.
Yeah, snow and just be raised up with it.
She said, no, they can get it, well, I don't, they're not getting it now, so if they get ready to sidewalk up, it's just.
One thing they could do this spring. Put a handrail on that inside part there, add it onto the handrail that's on that little short section, so at least you could hold on to something when they were walking down it, but. Yeah, you're not, I mean,
I just look at it this spring.
won't be able to do, so.
you know where the drain is?
Mhm.
Couldn't that be moved? I mean. Where the drain sits, it comes all flowing right across the sidewalk into the drain. Couldn't there be a drain put somewhere else?
I
That
don't
would,
know where it's gotta hit,
it would be the city thing to do that,
Right.
but I wonder
I don't know where if they could move that to another drain spot, I don't know.
Well, it just frees up with it. And that's the problem.
if.
I didn't know if there's something the guy can put in there to keep that one, you know, like.
Get to it, it rolls right down the slope
right by-
Onto the sidewalk.
Yeah.
into the road, and then there's a sheet of
Yeah, it
ice.
works sometimes at least,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes.
Where there, I don't know if it's possible, but I mean. Looking to put the drain before it hits the sidewalk,
Yeah.
or drain
Somebody
before,
look into that and see, good.
if that's
Something
possible.
I can put in there to keep it on soda water, cause by the time it gets there, it just keeps building up, it's freezing all the way, and then we throw the salt on it, and then it's. I don't know, it's something I'll have to look into this spring when you can actually look into it and see if there's a way to get the water to come better.
just raise the courthouse up and then be level.
Or we can say, hey, this hill, and make it lower.
Alright. Anything else, update, we. Sent out letters for 2 new guys, so And they accept it and they're taking all the classes, right?
Yep, we are on track to get them going. So
Oh. Any comments on?
They'll
it?
get tested at some point here then, I guess.
I'm waiting for the paperwork from Chemnet. So as soon as I file
Okay,
the chain
yeah,
of custody, yeah, we're good.
So what about this other equipment that you're talking about, like a hot pot thing for? We're gonna have to make a decision on that real quick, or?
Oh, sure, at some point.
Yeah, what drain, I don't know what to do.
Oh, for the cold patch thing,
Yeah,
was that something you want to get
I think so.
for sure?
I think that's for sure, since it's gonna be getting in the springtime, and you don't know before.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna do it, we need to get it ordered,
You have it.
you know.
Do you have it?
Did they get filed somewhere last week?
Can we put it on for the end of next week, we'll make a decision?
Yeah.
Whatever you wanna do.
So that was
Just
one
put
that was
it on.
355,000.
This one was what, 40?
49, I think.
Oh, it's a different one.
No, this is that one I had laying here that we was talking about, the coal pass. It's not different, we talked about it,
I know we did.
but I don't like.
I thought it was 355,000 for that machine thing. No, this is different.
49, so
Oh.
right at 50. Go down, close.
But maybe we can get us some more. Another thing on them.
We lost it.
I don't know where it went.
Might have thrown it away, we won't
He threw it away.
probably.
Okay.
We'll put that on the agenda
Yeah.
for yours next week. Make a
So-
Discussion decision just on that.
Are we gonna go forward with the truck? With the smaller
Yeah,
truck?
that was our plan.
Did you talk to those guys?
Yeah.
California, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Sounds good, you know. But. Again,
Was you gonna figure out when you could go look at it?
Yeah.
That was- You know, we mentioned that, I think that's a bigger deal.
talk about going look at, it, probably go next week.
Okay.
Driver?
Yeah, I mean, if it's good, then bring it back, you know,
Oh,
we gotta bring it back anyway. But sure, he's ready to check off for 100 grand and I could physically look at it. But. That's kind of what we talked about last week when you were gone. But
As long as it goes and looks at it, we don't want to buy it sight and see. Anything else?
no, just like we were saying, we should also decide on that, the sander stuff that's gonna go on. Till the stuff can get ordered. We can get the thing put together before it's winter next year.
so you guys voted on the Eastport thing last week, or?
Never voted on nothing, because we didn't want, like I said, we don't want to do nothing till we're all here.
Hmm.
It was just always agreeing on stuff, and we went through the wish list stuff and just. Was gonna wait till we could all be together.
What we talked about on Eastport, let's just, start where we left off.
Mhm.
And then just lay the mailings out. Till we're out, get as far as we can get.
Mhm.
And. Chip seal on 2 miles with the chips that we got,
Mhm.
and, when we're out, we're out. We're got hands coming to survey the piles and stuff, so we can kind of get a better idea exactly where we are. And. That'd just be that, I mean, when the mailings are gone, they're gone. We're not gonna buy any from anybody, of course, but. That's what we talked about last week, so I mean, we can make a decision on that easy, if there's your deal.
Underneath. things.
Oh. It was $355 for the strobe light. And I was looking at it, thinking it was the bottom line. 355,000 for the machine. I was, no, you can't have that.
That other page flash goes with it.
Yeah.
That highlighted number.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
So how many miles of Mill Road do you know? What you call it, Milling Road, do we have now?
Quite a bit. I don't know exactly. how
Quite a
many,
bit.
but yeah, a lot, I mean, or. We just do a lot of coal patching, period, I mean,
Okay.
between Rock Creek and Georgetown alone, is just a ton, and. We got that little ass trailer,
Did you bring a picture?
Yeah.
no,
It's
you
just.
just drive up there and you're out before you get
Yeah.
started. With this thing, over,
No.
you know, whole thing,
Drive, pick it,
8,000
yeah.
pounds. And then it's got the burners in there to keep it hot, you can actually get something done. You know, you could have. 3 guys go up there and be doing it rather than just 2 and you're back and forth on.
So this in itself is gonna save you time and
Absolutely.
manpower.
Yeah. And it's something's gonna last for a hell of a long
Yeah.
time. you
You're
know?
not running back and forth
Right,
like they did.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they gotta come back and reheat everything, re-put more in, it's,
yeah, no, that, I understand that. Because, but you should find out how many miles we have, just so that you can answer that question. When I said
Well, you just lose the number, I do, yeah.
that. We would document it.
Oh, okay.
We have this many miles of milled road that we need to cold patch every year.
you wanna, since we've talked, Blaine said something about the truck being on the agenda next week, well, we've talked about it. We've had it on the agenda and we gave him permission
Yeah.
to check into it,
Yes.
right? But like this, we've talked about last week now, why we can't make a decision right now, if we wanted to order it, why we couldn't. Right, Blaine?
Lane. Are you listening?
Anyway, I guess we.
Oh, sorry about that. All I would say is, I know you've had it on the agenda, but I don't recall if it was on for decision, but if it was already, then yeah, that's fine. If not, I'd put it on next week.
Well, he'll have to go and look at it too, and then it'll get put back on, but this is just in order, if it's any good, that we can go ahead and get it, but we've already. Over the, go back in the minutes that we've talked about it and agreed on it. Being they're taking on some of these roads, that. I thought that was all we.
Yeah.
Right,
On the truck?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, okay, that's what he's saying, he sent me a message to make sure, well, we will put it on the agenda. Again, but this way he can move ahead.
So, you can't go down there before that, though. If we don't have it, it's gotta be after the agenda, right?
No, cause we've already agreed to get.
Last week, they agreed, got me to look at it on.
You know, when we have to make a decision before you go down there, if we're gonna go down there and bring it back.
Yeah, and I thought that was already done.
I do too.
yeah, if it was, if you decided, yes, we would get it, we would get it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we already agreed on all
Yeah.
that, all 3 of us did on that.
Yeah. Then why is it on the agenda?
It's
Whatever.
Well, you can do the paper trail. We agreed that we have to do more roads. We agreed that we need a smaller truck to do it. We agreed to get one. We found one. Now we gotta agree to go get it.
Pretty well all laid out.
Around the world.
So what about this hot coal patch machine? Where are we at with that?
So we can make a decision now. I'll make a motion and we go ahead and get it.
Okay, so we talked about this prior, a couple weeks ago, right?
yes.
You
We've had
looked
that
at it and
here.
said you wanted it.
Yeah.
And we looked at it and you're agreeing that we want it. Because it's a necessary thing,
Right.
so why can't we just make a decision for you to pick it up?
Good.
And is it something that's coming out of, it's coming out of our
Wish bucket.
wish list funds?
Go ahead, Blaine. Sorry.
Well, I guess, don't want to keep rehashing that, but I guess the question that in my mind is, you know, was that truck on the agenda? If not, it could just easily be put on next week. But that's my only advice.
We've had it on, we've talked about it, that's why you found it, we've had him go and look, and it's been on the agenda about this truck.
Okay,
I guess, I know what you're saying, but I think we're doing it right.
The
So-
additional truck was on there last week.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay, we're back to the hot pot.
Okay,
Whatever it is.
wait for a motion if you want
Oh,
from somebody.
no. I make a motion that. This is
No, I
about,
made a motion,
oh, you made the motion? Say it again, I didn't hear you.
made a motion, we get the hot pot thing.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any public comment on this? Being not all in favor?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then, where are we at with the mailing? What's our deal with that project?
I think we need to talk about it a little more, we have to put it, I mean, it's been on, but we'll get so far behind it. Put it
So
on-
what,
We'll put it on the agenda for next week, talk about the millings.
finishing the millings? What we,
Yeah, the same stuff we've been talking about for 3 weeks.
okay,
Be too good just to make a decision on, you know,
so what you were doing, you're having Hans come and survey it,
right?
and you'll know how much there is and how much we can do.
And regardless of that number, that's what we'll do anyway till we're out.
So why does there have to be a motion made in the decision when we, is it a normal process of? Okay,
You know, we need to decide, so it's. When it comes time to do it, it's, and we start laying it out, it's not, we need to talk about it again for 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, I think what Blake would like, you know, when we do this on your weekly report stuff, I should have put it down, to have it on there, then we could. have.
I mean, it doesn't make any difference, this is somewhat,
Just one minute.
yeah. This is somewhat we can say.
Well, should we put it on for next week and just
Yeah.
make a decision?
Yeah.
what
We know
what
what's
is
happening.
Blaine requesting that every little issue or every little thing?
You know, he just wants to make sure that we're doing it right, you know, just. Cause we talked about the truck and now we went to there, now it's the millings, we've talked about it, but we're gonna wait to get the. Measure it and all that. So, let's just put it on for next week.
Okay, so we'll know next week when Hans can come and survey it. Or can we make a decision before he comes and survey it? Phase it, knowing that we're going to use it, put it down and do the chip sealing. I mean, that's been agreed already. So does that have to be on the agenda? That we're gonna
If we
do?
already agreed to it, I don't know.
I guess I don't understand. Oh,
Blaine-
Blaine-
Blaine has a comment.
Hi, Blaine.
I think you were saying last week that you were gonna put it back on the agenda for a final decision. That's what I'd encourage. I don't think every issue needs to be on, but the millings will be over 80,000, so that'll need bid out.
And I think I'm the one that said, put it back on, because wait till Chuck got here, then
Yeah.
there's, so we're all involved in it. That's what the whole deal was.
And so would this be considered in the discussion and decision on matters concerning where we can make a motion to go forward with the millings and that today?
I don't know yet. Blaine, go ahead.
I think it should be specifically on the agenda, under the weekly report, but can do it next week. That's what I'd advise.
All right, let's just put it on for next week. It's one more week on that's not gonna hurt nothing.
You're not doing it tomorrow anyway, it's just too cold.
So let's go come up next week.
When you
Yeah.
read this stuff, make sure you call and get what you want out of it, because this was me that did that. So in wanted to talk about the millions, you could have put it on.
Oh, I like it.
That was my bad. I'm just saying, that if it sounds like we don't have it right on, then they can't do it.
Okay, well, that's about all I got.
All righty, well, we'll move into the closed session.
All right, see you guys later.
See ya.
Thank you. Okay, let me get you guys shut down.
All right, so we're back on. Talk about now that we have a resignation and we're gonna move ahead. He'll stay for the rest of this month and then. Right.
They don't know who he is.
Huh?
Nobody
Yeah,
knows who he
changing
is.
every time.
I got two people.
Nobody knows who he is because you're coming out of a closed
Brandon
session.
Terra. Sorry. I just get worried about because it doesn't really give us. no
Yeah.
comment, but it is from Jesus. Sorry. I just feel that after privacy is.
Tricky.
So Brandon said he was gonna resign.
Evidently, correct.
At the end of the month.
Right. Correct, and this will go out and get it out right away.
So I'll make a motion to advertise it. Right away. For the damn center to go.
Okay, I'll second it.
Public comment, Ian's not all in favor.
I,
Alright.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's in a hard feeling.
It's business, but it's, I know, but it's business.
You guys here.
Yeah, if you can get that right away to Billy and then, or Billy has something you can sign or.
If, just email me,
Okay,
just send me an email and we can go from there.
Sure.
Does that
I'll
work?
get this to you today.
Okay,
but-
fabulous. Yeah.
good luck.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
guys.
everything.
Take care.
All right, so we're back on for the dam tenders report, Georgetown Lake out for review and decision. What's up?
what's up?
We went to 15 last week, we're sitting at 13, we come up some more, 64, 28, 35, we're at 13, 8.
I make a motion that we stay at 15. That the water keeps coming, it keeps coming up. It's not going down, and I think it's gonna get to the point where probably the middle of March, it's gonna start coming in a whole lot faster because it's gonna be warmer. So we might have to bump it up then. But right now, it's holding its own and coming up at 15.
This weekend I went on a sled up, you know, and they would, somebody said, you know, about his blackboard and that. We got up in there and that, 8,500 feet, there's 11 feet of snow. Holy shit, talk about that.
Where was that at?
You go up Gold Creek in the Blackwood, remember how you go right above up into the rattlesnake, there's 11 feet of snow at 8,500 feet.
Wow.
Believe me, I found one of the holes, I was upside down. It was like 3 hours to get a sled out.
So it's hard.
Yeah, that was hard, it's cold, the wind.
Yeah,
But anyway, I just want to run that by you, so is there a second on that?
No, sir.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
I
you,
do
God.
see that we're starting to get more snow back, so I do want to mention that just by what I went and seen there, and I agree with Chuck's drought part, because now at least we're getting enough that it will start going in the ground. I think it's got enough frozen spots.
We're gonna find out next week.
Yeah,
We are.
Start to, supposed to be, yeah, close to 50.
yeah, 43 or something there. Well, yeah, it'll show, but anyway, so I know I'm behind here. Let's see, no.
I don't see Pam.
No, I know it
We
is.
still- We still got 5 minutes, but yeah, on this snow packet. We got more down there again, we got like, close to 2 inches. Maybe. Yeah. But believe it, I don't know, it's snowing around the line and it don't stop nowhere. Yeah, it's really scary. And I went up to. Looked at a job at Black Lake and Red Lake up above Elmo and Valley, you should see the snow in there. Oh, but I know there's certain areas, this year where I, then you can come over here and eat it, so. We're just players, but anything from the fishing game, no.
No.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and move on. Are you with her?
I am,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna see him.
We got about 5 minutes. Can we shut down just for a second? We got something. I want to bring something. Could I have you two step out just for a second?
Yeah.
I just want to get this on. Sorry.
I'm capitalizing your time.
It's true.
Oh, goodness. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Look at this reach up. So I can-
Absolutely.
Look at handy everything. Got too much stuff in my hand. How are you? Good. How are you? Good. Oh, yeah, Pam's on the other side of the state today. Oh, no, you're fine. Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Oh, it gives you a little extra space.
So the one thing that I would, if I may, is that,
Way better.
we're going up 11%.
Yep.
But our actual program stays the same. We're not losing anything.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
So,
benefits are all
yeah.
staying the same. And when you think about
Yeah,
that, 8.8% of it is really cost of living. Truthfully, I mean, 8%
Is
Yeah.
the CPI.
is CPI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I know, lovely.
well, to make it short and sweet,
Yes.
my feelings, but then you guys might want some more discussion. I understand why it happens, and it happens. There've been a couple years where didn't get any increase at all.
Correct.
And so what we'd be doing, and the one good thing that we do have is our permissive levy. Correct. Which helps when the increase. So I'm all for sticking with NACO instead of trying to go out and finding someone new that might give us rates a lot cheaper for the first year and then the next year. Hey, this has happened with Granite County on more than one occasion. So looking at the increase for Granite County with the dental and with the major medical, it's what, $117 increase.
For the
For
employee
us,
only. Mhm.
for the, because we offer the
Right.
dental and we
Vision.
offer the major medical. So
Has it always been 87 a month? Why that change? I thought it was just 80 hours.
okay, so what? It's halftime, 86.66 always, yeah.
Oh, on your contribution, on the waiting period.
And it works out to where sometimes they can't get it, but they can do it like in a 3-month time frame where they do still are considered halftime.
Right.
And
'Cause it has
that's,
to be on
yeah,
average.
and that's what we've always done and it would stay, that what
Mhm.
would stay the same, right?
Yeah, that's totally up to you. Each county does their own.
So
They make
last
their own
year,
determination on that. So that's totally your decision.
we picked the RM 1,080% with 3,000.
Where do you see?
This is the last year, this is the last year. We decided that would be
It's
what
all you should get.
and anyone wanting anything else. Like with this one was more, and so they'd have to pay the balance. So I suggest that we
I
do
don't
this.
even know what's going on.
Scott, you're on the high deductible.
What one?
You're on the high deductible.
Yeah, she talked me in, well, that good thing?
Yes.
And I guess.
I like mine.
The local guys, they don't agree with that.
Let me clear it up with the road crew guys. They did not bother themselves with coming and sitting with Sandra and talking about their benefits and what they could or could not do. Therefore, they decided not to engage themselves in open enrollment at all. Therefore, Mako gave them the exact same thing that they had the year before, which then made them have to pay $120 or $130 out of pocket. So because they forewent their open enrollment period, that's why they are where they are.
Okay, and one thing too is we set last year. The set was at 1102. And anything,
For the contribution,
anything
correct.
above 1102. Which was the 1244, that's the one that they stayed on without. And it was clearly stated that this is what the county is going to offer and anything that is above. We'd still offer it, but that
They did
portion
it.
would have to be made up by the employee.
Correct. Yep. And you didn't have anybody last year elect that RM 1000. So you offer the RM 500 and so if you look at that third page. You can see in parentheses behind how many have elected each plan. So then that way you can see who's on which plan. Do you have that?
I have this one.
You got it. Okay,
Thank
perfect. You bet.
This one here,
Mhm.
okay.
The one that has the signature and the attestation at the bottom. Yeah, that one. You can see in parentheses, that's how many people have elected each plan. So the bulk of your people are
Okay.
on the RN 500 and the BP 2000. RN 500 is a very rich plan. Because you only have a $500 deductible and a $1,500 maximum out of pocket, which is an incredible benefit to offer to employees. And no one elected the RM 1000. We can certainly, if you wanted to, the previous year you had it as the RM 2000 and nobody was on that one either. So that's where we are scheduled to be here for open enrollment on April 4th. As people come in and meet with us, absolutely we'll talk through which one is best for them and make sure they're on the right plan. And just like you had mentioned, if it's not the high deductible plan, then we would move them to a different plan that would meet their personal needs better. So
And I
that's
will
an
say
option.
that they both have tried to explain it to me, but I don't understand these insurances.
With the high deductible plan, and that still includes the wellness benefit.
Correct. Anything that's preventive in
Yeah.
nature is always
Yeah.
paid at 100% regardless of what plan.
So like your physical and maybe some of your prescriptions
Yeah.
and stuff
Mhm.
are covered and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I just paid for them. Becky told me they wouldn't. I have a card, but it won't work, so.
We can work with you on it because yeah, definitely. I know
Explain it, I
when you were on the high deductible plan the previous year, it was the perfect plan for you because you knew you were gonna hit the 3,000. And so if somebody knows they're gonna hit 3,000, that's a great plan. Or if they're super healthy, it's also a great plan because then they can just tuck that money away, the difference into an HSA.
So what is the plan offered that if you wanted to save up for like a medical procedure? Do you have that plan?
So like the HSA
Is that,
for the health savings account, that would be your high deductible health plan.
do we
probably.
have that?
You have an HD 3000.
And so what does that do?
So on a high deductible health plan, you have an HSA, a health savings account with that. So you can put your money into that health savings account. So then that way, if you have incurred expenses down the road, you can pull out of that health savings account to pay for those expenses. And it's all pre-tax. So it comes out of your check pre-tax.
Yeah.
And saves you. It's kind of like my husband and I use it because we max it out as kind of a tax shelter. We can take up to $9,000 out of our checks and tuck it away pre-tax. So it's a great thing for some people if they want to tax shelter some money. But then it's also great for people that know they're gonna hit that. Because once they hit $3,000, they're done. Their out-of-pocket is over. So it just depends on each person's circumstance. But that is the plan I think that you're referring to.
And it doesn't go away.
No.
That money is always your money.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not a use it or lose it like Flex is. It carries over year to year. And if you left the county and moved someplace else, you
Right.
carry that with you. And that follows you. That health savings account's in your name. So it's a great plan for, I think about young healthies. And then those of us that know we're gonna have a procedure in a given year.
So is that something that maybe might interest you? Where, so he's, okay. How do we explain this? Like me, I'm retired. I'm a Mako retired and I'm a retiree only.
So I'm glad you just said that because health savings accounts, there are limits to who can contribute to a health savings account.
Okay,
So if you're 65 or older, you cannot contribute to an HSA.
never mind.
Or if you have Indian Health Services or if you have dual coverage. So
Right.
those are the three instances where you
Okay.
really can't.
So I just wondering if might be something that would help him out with
Right.
me. I'm fine with being a Medicare retiree with the Medicare Advantage. So
You bet. Yeah. And I know, there are some limits and that's why, I mean, it, like you say, I feel that like Scott, it is confusing. Insurance is its own language. I totally understand that. And dental did go up slightly. It's 7.8 sounds like a lot, but it's actually $3. So it's not significant.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that you're aware that vision didn't change, life didn't change, all that stayed exactly the same. And we are offering another high deductible plan. I wouldn't recommend that for your county. That's why we didn't include it as in the alternates. That would be a huge jump for your people. We have some counties that offer an HD6. So it's a great progression to a 7. But in your case, I wouldn't recommend that. And then we are doing Rocky Mountain biometrics here on, I know, on March 21st, we're gonna do that. And we're offering the blood screenings again and the $20 incentive for anybody that comes, so we'll encourage as many people as we can to get here. And the reason that we provide that incentive is it just never fails. There's usually, I think last year we found like 35, 40 people that had major medical conditions that they didn't know about. And the medical director reaches out to them and contacts them. So we always have that hidden lurking situation that we can catch early to prevent it from turning into a catastrophic high cost situation. So we'll be here again. The date we have is March 21st for that.
The biometric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I
Excellent.
have all of the posters, all that, I
Yes.
brought all
You brought
those
it all.
with me, so we'll-
Fantastic.
talk
I'm
about
going to be
that.
taking those in person to the road.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent.
I will not have any excuses in January next year.
Well, that is awesome. And then we'll, of course, be here for open enrollment on April 4th. So, and we'll get I think you brought the information on that.
I
too.
did.
Excellent. So we've got all of that information that you can post for all your employees and everything. Trying to think of what else. We do have a brand new this year. We rolled out this plan performance report. I will tell you, it's got a lot of information in it. You can certainly look at it at your leisure. But the key things that I hone in on this report here, one of the things that we were getting feedback from counties on is we want to know how we're performing. In addition to the trust. So you know how the trust is performing, and we always share all of that information, but this is how your county in comparison is performing. So this is information for you. I would say the two things that there's just a handful of things that I think are critical to look at. On that first page that has like the 3 sets of, in the dead center, you can see this is the breakout of your members by age. That is good information. Typically speaking, those that are, 40 and younger are typically healthier. And so if you have a high distribution across, that helps. You are very normal in comparison to the trust. The bulk of our members are 50 plus. So it just depends on your county, what you attract, what you employ, etc. But some of our counties offer what we consider to be family-friendly rates. And your member and family is at a 2.5, which that is on this sheet. And what that means is it's 2.5 times the employee-only rate. Our actuary recommends a 2.81. So you're a little bit family-friendly, which is good. Because then you get more people. You have a couple of families that are covered on your plan, which is great. The other page that I think is, this is very normal. If you look at the demographic cost distribution chart, this one, it just shows the bulk of your costs occur later in life, right? And you're very standard when it comes to every other county. Typically, say if a county has a young person that has a cancer, you'll see that spike in a lower age, but otherwise, typically the bulk of your costs occur later in life, and that's just very standard. The health plan snapshot shows you how you compare to benchmark. The benchmark is the light green. And the comparison is the previous year compared to this year. So you had a spike in pharmacy and outpatient hospital. And you can see kind of up above in your text, your medical claim trend went up 38, almost 39%. And your pharmacy trended higher at 24% higher roughly. You had a jump in both of those areas. And those are the areas where the trust really jumped in and helped you because you pooled any claims over 50,000. And so that's where the pool really helps you. And you can see on that chart where it kind of has where the title of it is Health Plan Snapshot Trended. That's where back in May, June, you had a spike in medical claims. Your pharmacy is the dark green at the bottom. That's a good thing. That means you don't have a lot of people on super high cost pharmacy. And when you see that, those are really difficult because they stay on that usually forever. I mean, they're usually high cost, with the exception of like cancers and things like that. That could be a one-time and off, but. On the next page. Again, it's just breaking out coverage by relationship class. Up above shows you how many people you have, like employees. The dark is your previous period, the light blue is your current period. It shows that your number of dependents went down and your spouses went down last year on the plan. And then you can see at the bottom who really incurred the cost. And again, it's your employees, not the spouses or dependents. Where that's important is if a county is running out of funds, really concerned about the finances, and you have super family friendly, we might recommend going less family friendly if your spouses and dependents are part of the cost. But you're not in that situation. You're doing good. Your top 20 diagnoses, cancer, spondylosis or stenosis, spine issues, AFib, shoulder problems, gallbladder, biliary. Those are your top 5 diagnoses. Procedures, the top 20 procedure group comparison, and that drugs, that's where they're administered in the hospital setting. And so that is likely tied to the chemotherapy and the cancer. Implantable devices or hips, knees, probably related to the spondylosis, but that just shows you a breakout of what types of services are taking your top 20. And the good news is on the pharmacy therapeutic equivalency, this is a good thing. You'll see that your county only has 58% in the single source brand drugs. That's awesome. We have some counties that are like 85 and 90%. So that's where you're on those high cost medications that cost the plan a lot, but your members are in good shape on that. Let's see here. I'm just going to jump ahead. Emergency room is an area that we do focus on. And if you turn to the page that shows emergency room visit analysis, it's kind of this bar chart. You don't have a problem. We look at if you've got frequent flyers to the emergency room, where that tells us we might have like oxy seekers, drug seekers, or we might have a situation where somebody doesn't have a primary care provider. So they're going to the ER for their primary care. So we reach out and work with those members. We contact Allegiance. Allegiance gets case manager involved, etc. But you only had 2 people that even saw the ER. So you don't have any problems in the ER setting, which is awesome. The only downside to that is the two of the ER visits were avoidable. One was for pink eye, and one was just like a general exam. So that tells me don't have primary care.
Yeah.
And just the reason we look at that is emergency rooms are so expensive. But we don't have, if we had a huge problem, we would look at offering like probably a different deductible or a higher copay for an ER visit. But right now we don't have a lot of that going on in our plan. So those are 2 things that could have been prevented. Chronic condition prevalence is the next page. We look no different than any other county. Hypertension is a huge problem amongst the entire trust. So we're looking at a hypertension program to replace healthy as wellness. And then diabetes and hyperlipidemia. Hyperlipidemia is high cholesterol. Those 2 go hand in hand. And we're going to look at a diabetic program as well. So those are the 2 wellness programs we're looking at to kind of to replace healthy as wellness. And I think the other thing is this Granite County risk analysis. This is projecting out if your membership stays the same and nothing changes. This is an analytic tool that looks at all the diagnoses that all your members have, whether they're chronic or they're acute, and projects out, do we think you're going to run better or worse? And based on this, a score of 1 is normal or average. So it looks like you're going to be trending better. So that's good news. Sometimes your high cost plans will have like a risk score in like 9s, 12s, so this is good. And then the next page just shows that you didn't have anybody that used telehealth. And so the telemedicine is an option, just as a reminder, and we'll talk to people about that during open enrollment. It's a great option if somebody has pink eye. That conjunctivitis would have been a great telemedicine visit for $40 probably versus a $400 emergency room visit. So those are great things that we just want to make sure that people are aware of that is available. And then the last pages were just your biometric results from last year. And we'll be producing that report again for you as soon as we get done with biometrics this year. But it just tells you kind of what's going on in your population. Any questions or suggestions on this? This is the first year we're rolling it out. So if you have suggestions or information that you're not seeing that you want to see, let us know.
What do you find this stuff?
I know. Today would be great.
Body.
That's okay. I think Liz is on it. She's got it.
So I'm thinking that keep the plan the same,
Oh, this is for everybody.
Yeah.
have the major medical, the RM 1,080%. 3,000 as what we're offering, and if they want the RM 500, they pay the difference. And then the other two plans that we had, that if they want that, how does that work when it's only, there's the extra amount, does that go right back into their account? Say, for example, we pay $12.28 for the RM 1,000 and the BP 2,000 is only $9.52.
No, they only qualify for a health savings account with the high deductible plan. So that's why you'll see. Most oftentimes, if they're going to do the higher deductible like that, then they're gonna do that health savings plan. Because that's the only one that qualifies for the health savings. You have to have a qualifying high deductible plan to get that health savings.
What is nice, the BP plan is nice for people that are trying to cover their dependents, their spouses or children, because then they can use that additional towards their, to offset the premium for
I
those
see. Okay.
children and spouses.
Oh, right, yeah.
Does that help? And those are the people that have their families covered are on those plans.
And true, if the way it's set up, if they were single, the actors can both pay for their dental or their vision
Mhm.
as well.
Oh, that's true, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what,
So what we have a lot of, like, if they're single, they would do the high deductible if they're not expecting anything crazy. And then they'll utilize the rest of that money to cover their dental and their vision.
Mhm.
And then the rest will go into their health savings, is how most of our high deductible goes are.
And currently you base your contribution off of, circle that sheet. Off of it's just a flat amount. Oh, yeah, like it's not based on a specific plan. Some people base it on the VP plan or on the RM plan, but you just, I think, have a flat amount. The 1152.
Yes.
They offered last year, perfect, excellent.
Are you considering increasing that 1152?
so, yeah. I think last year, we did the RM 1,000 80%, correct? And then met the dental, which capped at, what was it? 1160,
We did 1152 last year.
1152. So do you want to keep that cap, or do you want to offer the 12.28 and a 41? I think.
What do you want to do?
I think. Well, I think we should cap it again at what the RM 1,000 and the dental is, which would be, what is that, something 69? 1269, cap it at 1269. And then if anybody wanted the RM. And the dental, they'd have to pay the extra. So it'd basically be the extra, the 1386.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No.
No.
I'm tracking with you, Blanche.
Yeah.
This is your guy who's perfect.
You did
do this stuff, I don't.
Yeah.
See, the case
makes
was
sense.
last year when we capped it is because. It's going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And it comes to a point where what's it gonna be, 2,000 per employee? Can our taxpayers,
Absorb that.
yeah, I mean, is it fair? That our taxpayers pay the 100%, because we've always paid the 100% and we capped it. Last year at
11:52.
the 11.52. So we cap it. That'll pay to cap it. At the increase to last year's cap.
Make up for the difference
Yeah.
in the
Make
increased
up the
rate.
difference.
So from 11:52 to 12:68.
Yes.
Okay.
Cap it at,
So there's a motion, you have to go through this motion for this stuff.
okay, I would make a motion that we accept. Mako Healthcare Trust as our provider and that the premium is capped, which includes the RN 1,080% and dental at 1268.
69,
69,
1269.
1268,
nine.
1269. Oh, sorry, 1269.
I'll second.
Any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Is that easy?
That is, and so then all we need you to do is sign.
That would be-
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, sorry.
So we're gonna take all 4 of those plans then that are listed. at the
Yes,
top of the-
yes.
I did, yeah. Yeah. Covered up.
And for those of you that don't know, I'm Mary Rose.
sorry.
That's all right. I can take care of it. And I have been with the trust for a little over 3 years,
Mhm. Yeah, that's Mary Rose.
and I'm gonna
You
be
probably work a lot with her.
helping out.
Yeah, she's a backbone for us, so.
Okay,
Oh my
yay,
gosh,
we
well,
love this.
We love it.
I know.
I'll let you-
So
You might
they
get
were
a
saying you lost. Did you
We
lose?
will on it. Sorry.
Did you lose the county?
We did. Carbon County.
Oh, Carbon County.
Carbon County left the trust. Blue Cross offered some rates that were less expensive than what we had.
That-
And so, yeah. Oh. So definitely, and we have 4 new counties that are potential.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so we're happy about that. I mean, we were super sad to see Carbon Lake, don't get me wrong, we were bummed out about that, but we understand. I mean, business is business and you need to do your due diligence. So we understood. And then, the way that the trust works is if you leave the trust, then you have to stay out for 3 years. And one additional thing is we have the right to decline the quote. So should they want to come back in after 3 years, it would be up to the trustees if we quote them again or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just something that's kind of how the process works, which is what it is. But yeah, we were bummed to see him leave, that's for darn sure. But at the same time, this is too bad. I should have handed those out ahead of time.
We pins.
Yay, I was needing some new person. Here to dance.
Yay, pins.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was looking for one.
Yeah,
Isn't it funny how
They were
once
in-
you have an office job and you're a little more mature in life, you get excited about.
I know, isn't that sad? I know, it is so true. It is so true.
When you're a kid, it's a new toy, and now I have 45, I'm like.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, we sure appreciate you all being in the.
Yeah.
crowd. Very much.
Yeah.
It was nice meeting everybody. I was
Yeah.
working with you
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah, and I know we have a couple things. I think we have a retiree packet that we needed to get to someone that they've called us for.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So when do you sign up for this stuff?
April 4th, 5th.
April 4th is open enrollment that the gals will be here in the building.
And you guys are
Open
rolling out
enrollment
these new
until-
hypertension plans and things in replacement of Healthy Is,
Yes.
so we'll be seeing
We
information
won't have a
on
decision on
that.
that by then, but
Okay,
because we'll take that to the trustees probably around April.
so probably this summer we'll
This
be
summer,
seeing
yep.
some
And we
information.
will definitely roll all of that out. and
Very
have it
exciting,
kickoff and all of that, so.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day, guys.
Safe travel.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do there.
Scott, I'll happily walk you through all of it.
It's hurts me.
Well, what's sure is the back there. You still have your wellness benefit.
Cause I've been paying for a lot, it was out of my own pocket. I get stuff you work and I didn't know what to do. But I'll get it.
So we need to find out who had pink eye. Going to you or
Good thing you're here.
Oh. I was just kind of looking it over compared to and the one good thing that we do have is the permissive levy, which helps us tremendously. And we've had that since 2000, so. And that would be another thing. That if we wanted to set aside. Just kind of an account for increases. In like medical and the COLA. It's. COLA is gonna be 8%. It's 8%,
Yeah.
and that we need to discuss that.
You guys have time for a break. Chad Green doesn't get here till 11, so. Chad Green isn't here until 11. I thought that would take longer, so.
The what?
Chad Green won't be here until 11, so you guys have some spare time. Okay,
Come on up. We're gonna go ahead and go into the medical Chad Green here with a hospital update.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
I'll give a brief COVID-19 update. The Granite County COVID-19 community level is considered medium at this time. With 3 active cases and a rate of 88.78 per 100,000. We do continue to screen visitors as well as masking. Although some hospitals are lifting masking restrictions at this time in this month, our county health department is recommending that we keep our masking policy in place until June. Apparently there's been high incidence of more flu in the last 2 months or the next 2 months coming up, so we're gonna probably continue masking into June, just to keep it. As of 2/24/23, there were 790 new confirmed cases in Montana in the previous week. There's been a significant rise in cases since the last month. According to the Montana response map, 385,666 total cases for Montana, 958 active cases in Montana, and 68 active hospitalizations. 3,651 deaths to date. Vaccination rates in Granite County are 39%, and Montana remains at 53% of its eligible population fully vaccinated. We do continue to offer Wednesday vaccination clinics over that supply. For monkeypox, the number remains at 7 identified cases in Montana, and that's been unchanged for the last 3 months. Okay, for the long-term care side of the hospital in the month of February, the residents and activity staff have been hard at work with activities such as brain exercises, flex and stretch, beauty day, manicures, and bingo. But they also started some new activities like making Valentine's bracelets, having a Valentine's party, making old-fashioned milkshakes, and having a social to reminisce about the good times while they ate them. Residents really enjoyed that. I guess really everybody really got into that. They had one-on-one visits often and even craft with Patsy every Saturday, which was super fun. Otherwise, everyone has been just trying to keep busy and stay warm. We're all anxious for warm weather and spring activities. For department reports, Central Supply continues to work on our jump stock project. The team hopes to start barcoding and tagging supply items in the next few weeks. In our clinics, our providers continue to do an excellent job of providing care to our community members. Bonham is continuing to see patients in Drummond Clinic on Tuesdays. The dietary team is still working shorthanded, but still providing amazing meals to our patients and residents. For emergency preparedness, Steve Hogan and I participated in a medical response and surge exercise on February 15th. This was a functional cross-community exercise with healthcare facilities and emergency response agencies throughout the state. The scenario was another hospital having an incapacitating disaster and needing to evacuate 50 patients. This was a 4-hour exercise. The modules consisted of activation, notification, and mobilization, patient assessment and resource coordination, and patient movement and tracking. UCMC transported and received 2 of the patients in the exercise, and it was a great learning experience for all that were involved. For environmental services, the team has been doing a great job of keeping the facility clean. Laundry recently had a washer go down and needed to be replaced. The team has been also busy name tagging all of our residents' laundry, including their socks. In IT, as Dave continues to work on his exit plan, he and I began meeting with outside teams to possibly provide the services in his absence. We've worked with 2 teams and they're looking at scheduling a 3rd to come in for an evaluation. In laboratory, CLIA, one of our laboratory accreditation agencies, performed a re-accreditation survey last week. We're confident in our laboratory maintenance and policies, but are awaiting the survey results from that, which we were supposed to have 10 days in the Sunday. Do the survey. For marketing, the marketing team and I have met regarding marketing strategy for the year. We plan to expand our marketing and recruitment into other areas, as well as feature write-ups and information regarding their new hires. The maintenance team has finished the flooring baseboard installation and also refurbished the patient room that had received water damage. They did a great job and the room looks great and is ready for our next patient resident. For services, Shannon Martell, our community health worker, and I are working on plans to assist with grocery shopping and delivery for residents that need assistance. Currently, Shannon is working with Drummond Schools and the Clinton Grocer to begin the program in March. I believe they're starting on 15. We're also working with Huffman's and Phillipsburg schools to provide the same program here in Phillipsburg. Human resources are open positions. We have a part-time environmental services position for our Drummond clinic. We still have a board clerk position. We are looking for a physical therapist, so we can expand our physical therapy services. We have a RN charge nurse for nights and an RN charge nurse for days open. We have 3 CNA, actually that's come down now. So 2 CNA positions and 1 night shift. I believe we will be filling one of those soon. We have a medical assistant position open for our Drummond clinic for when we expand our days and hours over there. And 1 mid-level provider, but we currently have a offer out to someone now. Jason Walsh, our new director of nursing, started last week, and we're very pleased to have him join the team. Michaela Peterson also recently joined our team as a nursing assistant and is training for a CNA position. Michaela is doing a great job and is excited for the new opportunity, and we're just as excited to have her on our team. Michaela will be the third worker that we brought in as a nursing assistant and trained to be a CNA. So that has been a good program for us, and it's bringing in, we're keeping community workers here. For medical staff, we just had 1 new re-credential for a provider that was a teleradiology staff. For nursing, January patient census ER visits was 31. Swing bed patients, we had 18. We had 38 swing bed billable days, 13 acute care billable days, for a total of 51 acute care days in the hospital. Peter's clinic saw 124 visits, while Drummond saw 18. And physical therapy, we had a total of 125 physical therapy visits, 105 of those were outpatient, 20 of those were our swing bed patients. And we completed 20 CT scans in the month of January. Any questions for me?
So is Drummond picking up a little bit, or is it? kind of
Those are
the same?
actually, that's still January numbers, but that's slightly higher. than We were running, but they're still only on Tuesdays, so. I think once we can provide the care and be consistent with it, we should see a lot more visits, so.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. What was the flu count?
Flu count I didn't give, I gave the COVID-19 count as of February 24th was 3 cases in the community, and our rate was 88.78 per 100,000. So we were still at a medium rate at that time. It looks like several of our surrounding communities are at a high transmission rate right now. So in Missoula County.
So there's no flu going around?
We are still seeing some influenza, but that number has come down quite a bit from the last month. We're just keeping the masking policy in place because county health is saying that the next few months, April, May, have seen high flu incidence rates for history, so we're getting closer. I know a few of the other community hospitals have stopped masking and stopped screening patients as they come in. I know some larger hospitals and systems are planning to do the same in March 15th. So we're getting closer. There's a letter coming.
Anything else, Warren?
Any questions?
We didn't bid on the ambulance.
Didn't yet. We just have too many other things on our plate to try to staff that, I think, right now, but it's definitely still in the works.
So is that something that is a possibility to research a little bit to see if maybe it would be a moneymaker for the hospital?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's something that I would like to see done in the future. I just think there's a lot to go into that to get that staffed right now. But definitely something I think, even if it's not a moneymaker, as its own entity for the hospital, we would see something, and for the community, I think it's a huge community benefit, so.
No, we're gonna put something on the agenda for next week. I see a little gap in the coverage for the ambulance. I had an incident last week and the ambulance was on a transfer at 4 o'clock in the morning. And so we're gonna talk about, I don't know if you're interested in this or not, next week, about maybe getting some volunteers. I couldn't walk, so
Well, I think
I was looking for some way to get in a vehicle and get driven
Right,
to a hospital.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's why there's an absolute need for it.
Oh, yeah, it's like I pulled it off as a transfer, you know, then you're taken away from an emergency deal. That's where we're looking, trying to figure out how to make that work with the hospital. This is the problem we had before. They go and do that, and then we have a wreck or something, I don't know if they cover.
Yeah,
So if we get some volunteers, you know, like I say, if you're down, you don't care if it's an EMT or whoever, you just want a strong back, to get you in a vehicle.
Right.
And get you down and get you going down the road.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if you're interested in,
I would be interested in coming to that meeting, yeah,
I'll send you the information.
okay.
So something like that, when you stop and think about it, is there some way that, because we have those ambulances, that if we could work with the hospital? I mean, if there was a lease, the lease wouldn't be hardly at all if you guys had someone that was there where you could throw like an RN in and someone to drive
Mhm.
for transfer, where you'd have it available at whenever you needed it.
Well, that's what we talked about before, and he, I mean, you know, if we could figure somehow how they
Yeah.
can do that, so we don't lose our ambulance.
Yeah,
Do the make transfer, I guess,
Yeah.
you know, it's just gonna be a tough figure.
It is, I think we're starting to see a little more interest with people with that EMT background in this area. I'm recruiting a CNA even right now that has a EMT background. And we were contacted today, I believe, by someone that has an EMT paramedic background in the county. So, yeah, I think it's a definite possibility. That would be our major problem, is trying to staff that right now.
And would that something where a guy would have to reopen that budget on that?
Yeah,
once
it's
it
easy enough
or
to do.
something?
If you had interest, it'd be, all you'd have to do is budget it for, because it's still
That
a
way it
district.
help.
It's just that we're not levying it right now.
Yeah.
But if there was, we had someone that would go in there. Bring it back up, it can be brought back up, but just that easy.
Yeah. if there's a
And
way
it
for us-
sounds like we may be, if we have interest. Think about doing something like that, and but like with your situation where you need transfers. It would be awesome for you to have that ambulance available. And I know, like you said, it's trying to get rid of somebody or trying to get somebody out of the hospital to do the transfer. But if there's something maybe where you could look at and say, hey, we've got enough budget here, we're gonna throw you janitor, you don't have to claim for a minute, you can be a driver, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
What does a transfer pay? You know, that's kind of a weird question. I mean. I guess that's what we're trying to figure out how we can afford, you know, or work with you, so that you could actually not be taking the ambulance. And then, like, not saying that transferring somebody's not emergency, don't get me wrong there, but I guess.
Well, you mean a charge? There's definitely a charge to transfer, so that'd be income that would come.
yeah,
Back
there's a charge
into,
either way, whether we're transferring them out.
Well, that's,
or-
I'm trying to figure out if we could figure out how a guy could work with the with the hospital when they want to do a transfer, if they had people and they could use our ambulance and. If we could figure out where it's feasible for everybody,
yeah,
and we'd still have our Eagle
Yeah.
ambulance on call. Maybe they don't, I don't, know, I guess. That's-
Yeah,
There's so much, but I think we really need to, you know.
and I think there's a lot of ways to approach it. I think, we could talk about partnering
Yeah.
with the hospital and the county and
Yeah.
providing some sort of a stipend for people to be on call.
Yeah.
And maybe we just do the transfers and we still have Eagle for
Yeah.
the actual.
Yeah.
emergencies.
That's what I think, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Eagle, but they
no,
seem like they're damn busy and.
Yeah.
If that happens, then I go that.
well,
You know what I mean?
especially if this end of the county, they're that end and. Like, I know the Drummond ambulance, they wanna stay in, right? They have, well. But if we had interest. If, what I'm just saying is that if you have people that are interested and it can be recreated, all we have to do is.
Yeah, we've never threw it out.
No, it's
We
still,
just-
a district, it's just not levied,
Right.
and it can be levied easy. Just at the
Certainly.
what period,
In this meeting, we can talk about, and it'd be nice to, try to get a couple of, like have Frank come in or something, we need to figure something out. It's,
But how much of Eagle's business is transferring from up
that's
here?
what I don't know, if I'd have to.
I mean, we don't wanna take-
He'd know that better,
Don't wanna take away.
yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah. And I don't think that's the majority.
well, the thing is, what happened to you, because they were transferring. And.
Yeah, I know, that's why I thought
Yeah,
this other idea,
yeah,
of,
there, yeah,
I mean, it's not perfect. By any means, but
Yeah,
it was something really, really,
Something to really look
Yeah.
into.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely worth looking at again, and I'm interested in being involved with that.
Well, thank you for everything, good job.
All right.
thank you.
All right.
Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
See ya.
Oh, we have a comment.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Oh my God, I didn't see.
You're fine. She just put her hand up, Elena.
Sorry. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. My name, Elena Gagliano for the record. Wasn't there an ambulance that you were thinking about putting up for sale? Somebody had an ambulance in Granite County that you were putting up for sale?
It's in the paper,
Not for sale,
least.
For lease.
A lease or for, okay, for lease.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe the hospital would think about that, leasing that ambulance. Just a thought, thank you.
We just talked about that.
Okay.
Thanks, sorry.
Thank
We did know about that. We were just talking about how maybe we could work with them, that they could use that. There's I agree.
She has another comment.
All right,
She has another comment.
go ahead.
Thanks. I'm sorry, I didn't actually hear you too well. I know you were discussing an ambulance, so please forgive me for, asking that question. Thank you.
Was probably hard to hear. I was having a hard time hearing.
Okay,
Hard hearing him, yeah. I think he needs to get closer. Sit right.
is somebody coming in for Headwaters?
No, remember, this was your correspondence you received last week from Kelly Sullivan asking if a commissioner would be attending their board meetings as part of their bylaws. And you guys told me to put it on your agenda for this week.
You asked me if I wanted to be. You didn't ask me, you kind of went.
And did you guys see my email that their board meeting for the month of March has changed date?
They changed the date,
Yes.
so it was the 16th.
It was the
1 to
16th.
3, wasn't it?
Yeah, and now I want to say it's like the 30th. Hold on, I'll find it. It is Thursday, March 30th at 1 PM is when it is moved to.
Okay, so on the agenda, whether or not. Do you want it? Me or? Okay, so I will commit myself. To attend. These meetings. If I'm able. So the next one's March 30th and it's in
You,
Butte.
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Which is on Thursday. So in that situation, I would see if. The county vehicle is available. I would have to requisition it.
After Vicky's taking it Sunday, I don't know what day.
It was yesterday.
Did she use it?
What?
Yep. She did.
Okay, all right, so. I will,
You'll be the representation.
be a representative for Granite County.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very welcome.
All right, well, we're a few minutes ahead, but we can go into the job description update. Commissioner assistant, part-time clerk, in the clerk's office, commissioner's office.
Okay, before we start on the,
What do you want to
the
table?
assistant to the commission, I would like. The assistant to the. Part-time clerk. One be tabled. Part-time clerk and recorder county commission be tabled. For now until. The near future, simply because I am doing some research on it and. There's things that I would like to find out and be able to explain to you the past history of this position where it pertains to the county commission.
But we still are moving her into here, this, that, other one.
This is the other.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys already
Yeah,
voted.
I
on
don't
it.
know.
If you want that number. If you want that number that you were asking about, so 8% would be about that, just in the wages
How much?
for the full year, 150,000. So. Anyway,
After 1 year?
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Well, we'll go ahead and table this till a later date, so. We can look into it a little better.
For the clerk.
So this
Okay.
is for 1 year. What other options are there? For covering that 8%.
For covering it, just taking it right out of wages. It's just whether or not this would be
We can go off.
Okay. Hold on, oops, sorry.
Okay.
All right, we're back on. We got a little bit for, next one's a job description update.
Were you gonna do my job description update?
You want to start right now?
Oh, yeah, if you want, I thought, I'm just confused, sorry. I thought they were all
We can
in
do
one.
Bailey's job.
Okay, so what we're doing,
I got a whole bunch of them.
So is what I did is, and I only posted like a final copy online, but for you guys, is what I did is the highlights are showing you what I changed or what's different. And then the copy that doesn't have highlights is the final copy. That's, that way you can see what was removed.
okay, and so what this request is we're deciding to remove the deputy position and you would no longer be a deputy to the clerk and recorder, you would be the assistant to the commission. And the job description that we worked on prior to hiring Billy was either or, and we chose deputy position where it doesn't seem that that position is really feasible for the needs of the Granite County Commission. So, but this. And that's what, why this is on the agenda is,
You had to do it this way to make sure we done it right.
Yeah.
We pulled her out, she'll be in here.
okay,
We
so,
voted on it
yeah,
last week, Chuck, we.
So it'll be like it used to be.
only what we did is when we decided. That and we did all the research that we sat at this table and decided and did this, that the level, matrix level would be at 11. Okay, and so looking at the deputy's position. And the matrix level 11. At entry level. He would be making 73 cents more an hour. And I know I mentioned that. Possibly a step one, but the reason that I said step one is because I didn't know that the deputy paid that high a position. Where I think entry level is fine for this position at an increase of 73 cents an hour. Does that
I agree.
work for you? Billy?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So and then that entry position is it's 10 steps. So every other year, there's a 2% increase on the matrix. You go from step 1 to step 10. Also, the difference between this position and the deputy's position is it's hourly. And the deputy's position is a salaried position. So on this position, I think we need to maybe. Because it's a new position, it has to be put out and it can be put out in house advertised to be filled.
But we already did our little thing.
No, it hasn't, we haven't accepted this.
The job description needs to be accepted.
I didn't understand that complaint and saying that he didn't think something, yeah, I got mixed up, anyway, so I'd entertain the motion on putting it out, in-house position on this new job description. Yeah. Starting out at 7.
I'll make that motion.
You get that, Billy?
Yeah,
So I will second it.
Any public comment?
Elena.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. This is totally confusing. And apparently was confusing to the three of you. this has to do with the assistant to the commission, and you're going to put it out as another. Sure, I don't understand it. You're just changing this?
Okay, let me
Don't-
explain.
Like one thing, one
Lena,
thing,
let me
excuse me, one thing. Please don't mute me while you give an answer. Okay, thank you.
So you done?
Okay. Go ahead, Blaine. Sorry.
What happened?
Blaine, go ahead.
Sorry.
We can't hear you, Blaine. Still can't hear you. You can go ahead and start explaining.
Okay. It was brought to our attention that when we decided that this position would be a deputy's position. Or and matrix level 11. Okay, so when we first decided this, when we first rehired the administrative assistant, we decided to make it a deputy's position. We are now since changing our mind and making it just its own assistant to the commission at a matrix level of 11. So it is a new position and it needs to be advertised. Someone could apply for it. And so it can be advertised in-house. Oh, oh, well, apparently we just got an opinion from the county attorney that it doesn't have to be opened in-house, that we can just change Billy's position from deputy to administrative assistant, pulling out the deputy's duties. And that's the difference between the job description prior was deputy, it had deputy's duties in it, and this position doesn't, and it changes from a salaried position to an hourly position.
He said correct. He said correct.
Okay,
So in other words, you're just changing the description. You're not putting it out there to hire somebody else. And
No.
then, okay, so if you go down to areas of job accountability and performance, and you look at that. So now her new job performance or whatever accountability is she's going to do the clerical duties for the road and bridge. So that in case Paul isn't available or won't be available to give the weekly report, she'll be able to do that.
No.
Is that what that means?
job description, Elena, where did you find that out?
It's on page 1,
He is
the
still,
bottom page.
he is still doing the same duty.
Yeah.
It's just we're moving her into here.
Okay, because as far as the duties, it seemed like even though Mike Cahill had that duty, he never really did it. And
Hey,
it like, and it looks at, and it looks like you,
I'm not, she's not gonna sit there and bash somebody that's, no. That pisses me off. That's not right. Anyway, this is the deal. We moved her in here and we've explained it and everything's done right. Blaine said it's all correct. Duties are the same. She is still doing the same duties. Doesn't need to be opened up. So now we can go ahead with that motion.
So
I'll withdraw my motion. And we'll just go to this, because it doesn't have to be advertised.
Okay.
Okay, so I withdraw mine.
Yeah.
We'll make another.
Okay, so make a motion that we,
No, it's open. Sorry.
okay, the one thing about this is because we're changing your job description and we're okay with it. I think we need to maybe discuss some hours that works better for you.
Okay.
And I don't know if this has to be in private or in public, but I'm looking at hours that works for you for your, like your childcare and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. We can. Yeah, we can discuss that. I think,
Well, let's not, we'll give you a little bit.
yeah, we can, we can loop back.
No.
Okay, what I'm suggesting is because of the fact that she has to go pick up her son. And we can change your hours and work with you where.
Okay.
We're not in session from 8 to 5,
Mhm.
so your hours can be worked around. How you can, like, maybe take off at 3:30 and be done for the day.
Oh, that would be great. I would appreciate that.
Instead of having to run where we can't really. Can't have a, babysitting kind of here in the.
Yeah,
Just,
mhm.
We should have to start early.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
with that work.
Yeah.
That's just something, yeah, look into it, don't, this is something to work out.
Yeah.
This,
no, I
this-
appreciate
I just want you to know that it goes hourly now. It's something that,
Look at.
that we could work. And I don't know if it has to be done in public or.
What's
if
that
it's-
below?
Lane, can you answer this question? We want to figure out some hours. Does that have to be? Can we just figure those hours with Billy? Off the record, or does it have to be on the record?
I should be on the record.
Oh.
just, when
Oh,
she's-
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I would say discussing your hours and that sort of thing, due to extenuating circumstance, I would close that for privacy issues unless she wants that open, unless Billy wants it open.
Yeah. I think I'm fine either way. I think, I really appreciate that tremendously. And if I could kind of look into it and kind of look into my schedule and we could loop back to it, that would be
Yeah.
grand.
Second, that, is this bill on that motion and everything then on the public?
Make a motion that we change the assistant to the commission position from deputy to assistant to the commission at a matrix level of 11, entry level. And I'm not quite sure it's what it is. It's a raise.
But
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
I second it.
Public comment? How many blame ones on, why doesn't faces keep coming up? on it?
That's,
Elena's putting emojis on there.
We don't need that crap.
Yeah.
That's not right.
What was that?
She's putting stupid faces up on there. This is where you get not out. Anyway, all in favor,
I,
aye,
Aye.
mostly carried past. Just not getting into that, you're not gonna sit here and bash somebody that's. I'm not doing it. Most. of them. And like that, see, they just keep popping them up. This has gotta stop.
Well, we can stop it.
Mhm.
We don't have to do this.
One person can ruin it for everybody. All right, so I see Jackie's here, she'll be right back in.
I printed those for you, right? The update, to the public health one. Okay, it's the end of the day. We had it done.
So where is that, meeting at on the 30th?
It's at a, I will get you the specific places. It's at this building in Butte that's in Uptown Butte. And I got lost when I went in there because Headwaters, there's like all these different entrances. And then Headwaters is like on the 3rd floor, but that's not where they do their meetings. They do it on the 2nd floor in a meeting room. I was lost.
Is it
I ended up
uptown,
being
like
like,
Uptown Park Street, Broadway, or?
yeah, it's like on the very top of the hill. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to view here in a little bit.
One goes in the meeting.
I'm gonna
Just
go
go
back
check
to
in.
Eastern Oregon playing the camp player in the playoff game in Butte. And then friends of mine, kid play for the military tomorrow, he's gonna board.
So where is it at the Civic Center? What, after they just told Lynn Anderson on.
Who did? Who did?
Recorded.
Yeah, you're not here.
Yeah, maybe on them.
Yeah.
Alright. Which one?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You want to open? Close? I guess we have to leave it open this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have this through on here. It's a job description, update, DS coordinator, public health system, discussion, decision. You're not getting paid for what?
What you just say?
You're not getting paid for what she's worth and what she's.
Oh, is that on the agenda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where is the job description?
I think it should be in your. Sorry, there was a lot in here.
Right here. There's one not paying.
Oh,
There you go. You got it your way. I think it's in the very back. Right there. You're right.
Good job, yesterday. We're gonna talk about it. There's
What did we do yesterday?
huh?
What did I do yesterday? I don't remember.
Public health meeting on programs. It was a long day.
Oh. What, did you have one where you, the old one?
There's like 4. I can print them for you, but there was not just one, there was a multitude for all of the different roles that she does. So I can print them for you, but yes, it's not just
Kind of just try to break it down into one.
yeah, let me
Is that-
find
is
it.
that something?
So did this go through the county attorney's office?
It
to-
did.
Blaine, you read this?
He read it and made comments on it. I have it back from him in email. I don't know if he had more comments on it, but.
Okay, so this is coming from your matrix. Was at 9. Yes.
I don't.
You don't
See
know.
how, yeah, okay, yeah.
And the duties that you are performing. Coming from a 9, bringing up to a level. Have increased to the point where the responsibility fits a matrix level 11. And that's been accounted for by the county attorney.
Yes, yes, he went through it, we read it. I don't know if he went through the constable factors as well, but I went through and worked my way onto that.
So your job duties, what you have been doing for the last, since you were put at a 9. Actually, it should have been at an 11. I know what I started off with. So 11 entry level. So like the only thing with this is. Because you're paid out of county health. BES. Safety. Everything else you pay off. Those are the. And then the DES is what you do for the dam situation. I like that word, dam situation.
Here are all of her current job descriptions if you would like them.
I guess.
No, I
Okay,
absolutely,
we tried to just summarize things into a general scope.
And Blaine's back on Zoom.
so. Were you paid a 9 out of every one of these different job descriptions? Was that your matrix level?
I know the way I looked at it, I thought so. Am I right, Billy?
I have no idea exactly how her pay was
'Cause
divvied
like
up
this one,
level by level. That would be a Becky question.
that,
Can't we basically make it the one job and add it?
That
so
was
you,
what the role
okay,
that
looks
was.
like it started, this public health assistant started at a 7 and you got bumped to a 9 on that. Okay.
And this is what I was thinking, they could just make a new one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, well, the
just have the
The
one.
DES in itself, what you have to do for public safety in itself, you absolutely, I feel, should be an 11. And I think I would make a motion that we change your matrix level from a grade 9 to a grade 11 entry with that.
Okay,
Yes.
boy, you are easy today.
Well, and I spoke with Audrey Wasseller, who's our district field officer, and just, I said, what's the baseline for DES coordinators? She goes, entry is 25 to 47. So. Just for.
Yeah.
A reference.
Sure. I mean, what's this? I don't know what else.
Entry level in other areas, well, our entry level is 11. No.
7 years of
It's
experience.
Is what, 21 something,
Yeah.
70.
is that work for you? Sorry, can't give you. entry level.
2023, it's 2111.
2111, does that work for you? Can I make the motion? I did, didn't I?
Right, let's second. Any public comment? Nice public comment. No, please, none, all in favor? Alright.
But when is this effective? March?
Yep.
Okay. So then the payroll needs to be advised,
Yeah.
I will take this over.
which your new. What is it, your new
Position.
Roll. Ish
your new title
title
starts effective March.
first. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move on, are you good with you guys' comments on this or something? Yeah, I kind of threw the other table on this, and just, I just, after being around watching what you do, I'm very much appreciate your work. Do an awesome job. All you guys, they have all you down there. We'll jump right into this Area 5 program. I was on a phone with them yesterday. Wasn't on the agenda, it was just a phone call, kind of figuring out what was going on. You want to explain a little better?
So we have, we have people calling and requesting that free housekeeping service. And we're like, well, that's not what really the service is. So we compiled some things together and I emailed Billy.
You get this stuff.
No, I just gave that to you because I
Oh.
thought you were gonna.
An email, because
Mhm.
as Lauren and I talked after Billy left yesterday, we want to make sure we're in compliance with the Area 5 guidelines for this. But, you know, last month, our expenses were $4,298 for the month. It's not going to take long and we're not going to have any funds at all. And we run on 24,800 something for the year for the grant. So we sat down and discussed things. If they're mobile, if they're able to go to the grocery store, is this a need in the service? We feel it's for more of the homebound people that can't get out. Those who have a loved one, maybe with, you know, Alzheimer's, things like that, give them respite care so that they can get away and, you know, just get some fresh air for themselves.
Okay.
So we kind of mushed those together. And if there's other services like the VA. We were going to see if they can't utilize those instead of all of the funds coming out of the Area 5 so we can service more people. We kind of come up with a conclusion because our mileage runs about close to $900 a month. Going forward, about limiting our within 3 miles of the city limits.
On maintained county roads.
Yeah, on maintained county roads, because we have someone that would like some services. Deb went to this home and could hardly get there.
So you mean like unmaintained roads, just ones that we are.
Yes, yeah. You know, and we had talked to Joe about this in the past and he says, if you feel as though it's a safety factor for your aides, don't send them there, you know. So we kind of compiled some parameters and I emailed these guys just so that, you know, after our discussion yesterday. And then I will, after I hear from everybody, I'll go ahead and email it to Joe, just so that we're in the guidelines of what the program is. I do need to break down every month, like homemaking and laundry and bathing and shopping, and we're gonna see if we can compile those those duties. But I have to report to him what each aide is doing and how many hours we're spending in those categories. But if we can combine some of them, we're gonna try and do that.
Make the reporting a little more simple.
Because it takes me 2-3 hours to get it all done,
Mhm.
do the financial, so.
Well, the thing about it is the people, it's such a good deal, but they're just starting to abuse it, more people are, and then they want this and want that.
Yeah.
You know, if they're free, well, like I said, we're not in the house cleaning business, we shouldn't have to be.
Well, and Joe, when he came to Drummond and we had a meeting with him, you know, and he said, you know, we can't always say to the people, you know, we do accept donations. And so we tell people we do accept donations. The funds would be put in at the treasurer's office. We would send you a receipt for those donations so you know where they're going to help sustain. And
Help big time if they were, you know, especially on this mileage stuff, you know, it's easy it up. I mean, what little bit they could give, what they're getting out,
Well,
it's a hell of a deal.
right, well, and then we're kind of like, that's the other thing we want to talk to Joe about is, you know, like, we have some some of these clients, don't have a lot of income, and that's totally understandable. But some are over the top of the income,
And can afford to hire help.
and that could afford to hire somebody. I mean, but how do we make those calls,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, I think good for, yeah, I don't know if that's a privacy thing or what, but it's still. Yes, we gotta figure out how to cut back some to make this work, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Well, and we decided to cap at 20, because now we have 22 clients.
And that gives you a cushion.
Yeah, and
And
then we would
fund.
have a waiting list. So.
That's all you can do though, Jackie, I mean, how else would you, how do you justify everything?
Blanche?
Well, I didn't see a way.
And Area 5 can't give us any more money,
No.
okay, so we're stuck
Mhm,
with what we have,
mhm.
and we have more people than what we have
Right.
funds for.
Well, yeah. I mean, so we talked yesterday, in the beginning, when Deb came to Granite County, we had like 12 clients. So she was, she was kind of averaging that out and, doing like 6 hours a week for a client. And so the goal next Monday is she's going to sit down and call every client we have and probably reduce some of those hours. To like 2 hours a week and kind of combine. Forces, because.
So what you need is more money to be able to fund this program. And you need something coming from the county to subsidize. Because it is a grant,
It is.
it is a grant, but that's not saying that Granite County can't.
But on that note, though, if you're gonna subsidize, then we'll have to hire more people, because they don't really have enough people to take care of what they got now. So I mean, then you gotta go and look at that, and I just think this stuff is just gonna cheapen it all.
Well, and the problem is, I mean, we have no home health abilities in Granite County, and so I guess we're the next best thing, for some of these people. It's a hard spot to be in.
Sorry, how long ago did this start? It's prior to that, we were stuck with trying to deal with some.
It's been a long time.
Well, I know when Harriet Menzer was the county nurse, Cleo Baker was one of her Area 5 aides back then.
Okay, back then, there was a home health fund and you were able to charge,
Mhm.
charge for service for home health.
Well, and that's the other thing we want to visit with Joe about. Can we do a sliding fee? Can we, if your income is XYZ, you qualify for free, or if your income is, in this bracket, can we charge them, like the family planning, sliding fee? I mean, those are the questions we have to ask, or is that not in compliance with the program?
I don't know how that, the grant we got, what's on.
Right.
Detail of that, or even take more, like you're saying, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what we said yesterday, was we need to just have this conversation with Joe to make sure we're in the parameters of where we need to be in this grant too. But I know Scott, he's called us numerous times with, referrals and assistance, or we talk, about,
It's been a blessing, but it didn't seem like it was around for a while.
well,
Because
we didn't have a county nurse. We had one person doing housekeeping, and that's where everybody thinks it's just a free housekeeping service.
And that's the thing, that people are doing this stuff, are gonna have to be really.
Because it was Shannon, Marshall.
Are you the Granite County Healthy Network?
No.
There's a gentleman down there looking for somebody, but there's nobody in the office.
Okay, I don't think that. So I'm gonna visit with Shannon, and we're gonna see if we can compile a list or names of housekeeping services that are available in Granite County. And some of these people, maybe we can, pass those names and numbers on, and they can find the service. But what they want is a free service that they don't pay anybody.
So there is a match that Granite County,
We
Makes
have
sense.
to
I
get
think
in
it's-
like 1,000 $35, something.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And that can be in kind, like rent and, you know, my hours.
And I know that we've paid, I remember it was like $600 and we just cut a check to Area 5 and sent it off.
There is a Schedule C now that came out in our last paperwork on in-kind matching, and we looked at that a bit yesterday. So I think we cannot be sending in that $1,000 and some odd change when we sit down and fill out that attachment
Is
C.
there more stuff out there that a person could look into to get the help? Or, you know,
That's when you get, you know, if it's federal money, you can't bring this in because then it out, you know, cancels this. And that's why we just need that guidance from Joe Gilboy.
This is something, you know, I mean, it just took off, so we're gonna try to figure something out. I mean, I love helping the people. So many of them wanna take so much advantage of it too.
So one thing, income, it's geared for lower income people, but anybody can join. Is there some way where we should maybe do an income thing where if you can afford it?
Yes,
Yeah,
we talked about that yesterday. I have my phone.
They were gonna use a similar sliding idea as that of, was it like WIC? The
Family
federal,
planning.
yeah, the
Yeah.
federal like poverty
Poverty
line
lines.
that you would for qualifications.
Because if
for
they
the
can
benefit.
afford it, if we have a client that can afford to hire their own help and we have a client that can't afford it, and we're seeing the client that can and not the client that can't,
Right.
because we don't have enough time to do it, that's not right.
Right, and so that's what we discussed yesterday, those that have a higher income compiling this, you know, say this person would, you know, has got a housekeeping service in Granite County, you could contact them. See if that's, you know, and give them the resources of who to
Yeah.
reach out to.
Yeah, we can't help you,
No,
we have to go gear it
yeah,
toward people that,
and they have to be over 60. And we discussed, you know. If they're in their cars, they can go get their own medicine, their own mail, their own groceries. Truly, do they need to be in the service? I mean,
right,
if they're mobile.
Yeah.
I would think
Yeah.
that, you know, they could, you know,
It's gonna be a tough pull, but I mean, I think we just gotta go through each one and look and see, times are just,
Mhm.
it's just the way it is.
I know, just my perspective is some of the ones we do are don't have a lot of immediate family close and they have nothing. We got with a guy a couple weeks ago in Drummond. He's almost 80, he has no vehicle, he has family, but not in state. And he's just there.
yeah, that's it, you look at the needs, okay, so if this person can't drive, then there's need there.
yeah. And that's what we were discussing, you know, the need versus the want.
Mhm.
If we have some family member or someone, as Scott said, that doesn't have family members. I mean, those are the ones that we need to really be focusing upon.
And can a person reach out to the family members to see if they can help donate to this? Oh, you know what I'm saying?
I've reached out to that, I never to tell them to do something.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. Some of them are here in our community and their children don't live here. So we build a pretty good bond with those people and taking care, and if we see something out of the ordinary of that person, we contact those kids and let them know and, you know, so I think we're a huge advocate for our people.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just try to make this so it keeps working, but if they keep
Yeah.
abusing it now, it's not gonna work. I mean, the mileage and stuff, and we're gonna lose everything.
No.
We're
Yeah.
going back down to 5, 6 people.
And then we discussed, we're gonna have a meeting with the aides and kind of just give them some new parameters of what is expected and combining instead of, you know, their mileage and having them adapt a bit too.
Make it more efficient.
So. The healthcare person, the person providing the care, they get paid mileage to go to that person's home.
Mhm.
And then they're paid an hourly wage Is that hourly wage start from when we went out to that person's home,
No, it's when they're in the home.
when they're in the home?
Yeah.
So their mileage to and then mileage back, so round trip.
I think we talked too about yesterday on how like things that are being asked of Area 5 that maybe don't fall under the bucket of Area 5 and how the community health worker, Shannon Martell with Healthy Granite County Network or with Granite County Medical Center, how maybe she can be utilized as a resource to move those things over so they're not being pushed on public health, who already has a full plate of work to do every day.
It's gonna take a little bit, but I think we better try to adjust now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we want to adjust now and not when it's completely gone and then we're like, oh, well, now what? Yeah. And we are gonna cap it at 20. We're not going to accept any more. Right. At this time.
all right. Yeah, it was a good talking about it.
And we'll know more once we get clarification from Joe Gilboy too.
And those 20 are actually 20 people who fit in your scope of what you can do.
Well,
I think she said 80% right
80,
now.
yeah, some of them, you know, we feel like that respite care is so important, so those caregivers are not, you know,
And then, and guys can really start looking into these people and letting them realize, we're gonna need some help, you gotta help to get help.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's just, and we've gotta work together and make it, but
so.
that's my comment.
That's the way it is.
Other than that, do you have any other updates for us, or?
I just visiting with Scott this morning. We have Steve Schmidt coming in May to the schools in Drummond and Phillipsburg. He talks about being safe driving and empowering kids to say no to drinking and not being bullied into thinking they have to drink to be in them. So
Where's he from?
Missoula County.
He's a deputy or something?
No, he works for DPHHS and this is so that here I am. It's free. But you know, that's one of his job titles is to go around and discuss with kids. So we got that. We discussed about doing a hazmat.
Oh, yeah, next generation.
Oh, yeah, next generation 911. We
When's
have-
that shooting thing coming in?
We gotta schedule it.
Reschedule it.
Oh, no, the run, hide, fight. That's what I was discussing with everybody of dates. That would be best. So we're
April.
rescheduling that. The GN 11 is the new E911. It's next generation 911. State's trying to get those in every county in place with those by 2025. So
back, keeping Matt Pierce on with doing our mapping. Our county's already set up real nice to fall right into that next generation 911. All that is the enhanced 911 was all set up to work with landmines, basically. This next generation's more user-friendly with all the smartphones and the newer technology. So if you don't adapt with the times,
So Matt Vlasic, I think is his name, he's gonna come to our LAPC meeting next week. And explain what the whole program is all about.
well, it's been a long process because our CAD system wasn't compatible, the one we implemented 2 years ago. This has been coming at us for a few years, so we're ready to go. Keeping Matt Pierce is very instrumental in being able to make this an easy transition, so.
And there are funds that are involved of updating and,
They're getting that money.
right, and Matt Blazes works for Great West. And he would help, with the grant writing to, offset the cost of what it is to.
Well, it's not gonna be quite as expensive because our map is all up to date and ready to go, so.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Ready? Is there anything else?
Oh, Audrey said this morning, if we have enough people, she would hold ICS 1, 2, 7, and 8 classes. So we're gonna discuss that at LNPC, so.
We just don't have my folks see all that online. Those,
Yeah.
that 300 might be good. That's an in-person reading.
Yeah, and that's.
I've had it, but it's been a few years.
It's a, yeah, it's a couple days, 3-day class, so.
Alrighty, well, not doing none of that, do you guys have anything? Thank you, thanks, good job, everybody.
Stop and see what's going on.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Oh, you have one more thing,
Right.
the national opioid settlement. Opioid.
Agreement. National opiate. Not that. Opioid, y'all.
Blaine, you got anything on this?
It's on Sam.
Said he was on you.
And so we already do the Johnson and Johnson, and there's, I believe, one more. We get some direct funding from that. I just did our reporting on that, and these are the additional funds that they were expecting to come through once these settlements came through. So if we want to sign on to them, it's for Teva, Allergen, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. So there will be some, I believe, direct funds that come through, and then the rest go to those abatement regions that we are a part of. And there's that committee, and if we would like to apply for projects, we can go through that committee. That's where the bulk of the funds go, but we do get some direct funding.
And in the past, we've done with Dr. Ryder on this too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of counties are working with very closely with public health on these funds.
Do I entertain the motion on them?
That's a good thing.
I Scott, thanks.
What would the motion be? Accept the new settlements. Accept the national, accept this settlement. I make a motion, we accept the settlement.
Sound good to me.
Accept it.
Any public comment?
Yep.
We have none, all in favor? Motion carried and passed.
Did you sign on all the green pages?
Yep.
There was so many. Thank you.
I entertain a motion and.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Not sure.
All done.